Yo, what is up, you guys? It is your boy Jay from the JBG podcast. It has been a long time. I have been gone. I'm busy. I have summer school. Uh, yeah, it's been a little while. It's been at least 2 weeks. I don't really remember how long it's been because I have been that busy. But we are here. My birthday was a couple of days ago. We're having a great time. Partying a lot. That's what we do. Playing a lot of Fortnite because I'm a cringy teenage boy. And today, as promised, I am not alone. I am here with a good friend of mine who we will refer to as E. E, say hi.
Hi.
Okay. We hate E secretly.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Hate,
Hate her so much.
hate her so much because she won't let me talk without finishing. No, I'm just kidding. No, E's cool. We talked about E. Well, no, because I never uploaded that episode because I never got
Yeah,
it
you never did.
edited.
I got name dropped. I got name dropped. I
Because
heard.
because people are lazy. Anyway, so and it's not me. Well, I
It's
don't
not you.
I don't edit these because I'm quite literally an old man who happens to be 17, which is weird to say that
As
I'm.
of now. As of now, not previously.
Previously, I was an even younger old man who was 16. Now I'm an older old man who is 17.
You're
This is one of
17.
this is one of
You're
my
a
friends.
ginger.
This
And a
is
cripple.
okay. We ain't gotta bring in the ginger. What was that last part?
A cripple. Not anymore though.
Let's say still a little, but not. Now I'm mentally disabled. Going to neurologist on Tuesday.
Nice.
No, no. No, it is because that means maybe soon we'll be getting some answers about some stuff. Either way, welcome back to the podcast, y'all. So I guess we're gonna dive right into this. So I know E from school. Just want to make that's how we know each other. We're friends. We play Fortnite. We play
We
Fortnite
play
together.
Fortnite.
We play
Yeah, we do.
Fortnite.
We do.
Fortnite. And we're gonna talk about some stuff. I'm gonna do some Homer Simpson. I don't know. We're gonna do some. I know a girl named Simpson. Ugh. Anyway, um, but yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah. So okay, before we get into like the deep topics and the main course, I wanna. So in the state in which I live, which I have made very clear before, I live in Georgia.
Mhm.
There, we're having our what is it? Primary runoffs, the runoff elections soon for Senate.
Oh, I'll be honest. I have
Oh,
zero.
no. Here are our options. Like,
Okay. Okay. Our
it's
options.
just the options. Our options are Raphael Warnock,
Okay.
who nobody likes, or a retired professional and college legend Hall of Fame football player from the University of Georgia who probably has CTE and is secretly a domestic abuser, Herschel Walker. Okay, so.
I think I know who you're choosing.
Yeah.
If you could vote.
If I could vote, I'd choose Herschel because one, I love Georgia Bulldogs, and two, he's a black Republican, so people don't know what to do. They're like, "Oh my God, this is not okay!" Ah, it's like, oh no, he's a traitor. Ooh, ooh. This isn't a political show. I've made that very clear, but so I just find it funny that those are our options. At least it's not a radical racist and the devil this time, Hillary and Trump. So, not in that. I'll let you guess who the devil is. But yeah, I find it funny that we have come to, and then we've got Stacey Abrams running for governor, who's a moron. But you shouldn't have to live on a farm to get produce and whatnot. You should just have to go to the grocery store. Hey, sweetie, where do you think produce comes from in grocery stores? Farms.
Farms.
We are farmers. Dumbass. Like, it's. I hate this state. I hate everything about
It's
it.
an interesting one. I kind of regret moving here, I'll be honest.
I would prefer your state, your old one.
Yeah, my old one.
I would prefer that just because it's
The one where all the drugs are legal.
It sounds peaceful.
I actually have a photo of it as my desktop, and I'm currently looking at it.
My desktop because I can't speak English. Anyway, get shit on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're one of the people that are gonna say that I have an accent.
You really don't. I don't think you do have an accent. I really
Here's the
don't.
thing. People say that I have an accent, And to that I say, bitch, where?
I mean, that's
Like,
I don't think you do.
I don't have a southern accent.
A southern? Okay. Now you have an accent.
Wait, no, this is legitimately a major concern of mine. People say southern,
Is that a
and when
picture? Is that a picture of the main city, like the capital?
yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
well,
is that
not the capital. That's like the downtown area.
that's nice.
For context, I sent Jay a picture
Picture,
of
yeah.
my desktop.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been there.
So I'm scrolling.
Uh,
Okay, so I'm scrolling through Snapchat right now, waiting
mhm.
until. Okay, so this girl posted a send it. You know what that is?
Yeah, yeah,
So for
yeah.
the people who don't know what send it is, it's like
It's like
what
an anonymous
what was the
questionnaire.
original one? Not Yelp or not Yellow. The other one, the one before that, it was Blue. Or at least it was a big thing where I came from. But so it's just anonymous messaging. So um, here are the questions.
Hmm.
This is teenage humor. Have you ever hooked up at school? Yeah, with Mrs. Williams. Oh, okay.
Oh.
You have a nice smile, and then of course she's doing the pick me. That's such a lie, but thanks. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
I have a crush on you.
Oh.
Her response? Yeah, I have a crush on me too. You're such a pick me.
Oh, come on.
Okay, this is funny. Name all your exes. So the second one's name is. Oh God, I'm gonna be called a racist. Arjun.
Mhm.
Arjun, something like that. The first one's name is Josh. It's not me. Okay, I don't know this chick.
Are you exposing this poor girl?
Yes. Did you have? Do you have an imaginary friend? Yes. His name is Beat. Okay. Um, are you an introvert or extrovert? It depends who I'm with. That's not how that works.
I mean, you could be an ambivert. Pulling out a long word for you. Uh,
Don't
ambiverts are
say words that I don't know how to spell.
ambiverts are people who are both literally extroverts and introverts.
I can't wait for the one comment that this video is gonna get, and it's gonna go, "Y'all aren't psychologists. You don't know what you're talking about." Blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm waiting
I
on
mean,
it.
there's gonna be that one person. There's always that one
I
person.
hope that there hasn't been so far, but I hope there is.
Shout out to that one person if they're here and they're
Yeah,
listening and they're angrily
shout out to you,
commenting this right
keyboard
now.
warrior. Go back to Twitter, like or Tumblr, depending on how cringy you are. Tumblr's just a cesspool of poetry now. It's literally
Oh,
just a bunch of depressed people that do poetry.
I've
Like,
never even touched Tumblr.
well, I hadn't originally, and then one of my friends was like, "You should go look at Tumblr," and I was like, "This is back when I was doing the political show,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he was like, "Go look at Tumblr. You'll get poems about politics." I was like, "Poems about
About politics.
Thineth arth democrateth, thereforth thine arteth libtardeth." Like, I don't know what a poem about politics could be other than that. Also on my TV screen right now is Mecha Elmo. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's Sesame Street Mecha Builders, and it's Mecha Cookie Monster and Mecha Elmo. Is this like a Godzilla versus King Kong kind of fight? Like, is Mecha Elmo about to throw down?
Hopefully.
Well, my childhood's ruined. What's next? Mecha SpongeBob. Oh, ew.
I've actually never watched SpongeBob.
You get off my show.
Yeah.
Get off my show. No, I'm
No,
kidding.
no, no. I have a justification for it. I
Because
mean,
my mom said it would make me stupid when I grew up.
no, literally.
Yeah, I know.
My cousin,
I
my
know that
cousin.
because every parent I know is like, it makes kids dumb. I'm like, no, it builds character. Like, SpongeBob gets bullied all the time, and like
Mm,
Mrs. Puff is a crap teacher who secretly cares. Like most English teachers, I mean math, I
yep,
mean teachers, people.
English teachers.
Mr. Krabs is a greedy boss, or in other words, a boss. Like, it's a very realistic show with a squirrel that lives underwater. Like, I mean, it's kind of, I mean,
Just very realistic.
minus SpongeBob's like longevity of he's immortal, but
Yeah.
um, I mean, you cannot tell me Davy Jones isn't real out of that show. Like, that ghost is a real ghost. He's got to be, you know. You know who I wanted to evolve into over my career of
Mm.
this? Do you know who Uncle Joey is? Joey
No, I
Diaz.
have
Joey
not, but I
Diaz.
heard. I remember you talking about it on like one of your
He
previous podcasts.
he is one of like three. Like, okay, I don't want to get away with saying the N word, but he is one of like three white men that gets away with saying the N word publicly. It's Joey Diaz, Eminem, and I don't know.
Eminem actually never said the N word.
Yeah, but if he wanted to, he could. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah, probably.
if he wanted to, he definitely could. That's is my
Yeah.
point. And he like he just says the most random things. Like at one point, it looks like he's on the Joe Rogan show, and he's like, I guess I haven't seen the full thing, but I guess he's like napping. I don't know. He's this
Napping
old,
on a podcast.
he's
Great
like,
idea.
dude, he's like 70 years old. He can't stay awake. Like, there's an episode from a podcast, and he's sitting there like nodding off, and then he just joins the conversation as if he was never asleep. He was literally resting his eyes, but he's like the national anthem music starts playing in the background. He's like, "All right, cocksuckers, it's over. Get up. We gotta take back."
Yeah, I heard that one.
We gotta.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that thing. Dude, I want to be like him. Just say random things. Yeah, my mom used to shoot penicillin up in me when I was 7 to calm me down. I'm like, it's penicillin, not Adderall. Like, which is still terrible, but like, I mean, what? Like,
yeah.
I wish I had stories. I mean, I could tell the.
Wait, holy shit. Wait, can I cuss?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I can't. No, I can't. You have your whole entire rule of you can't cuss.
I've
Anyways,
been cussing this whole time. I stopped caring.
I realized that technically I am the first guest star on your podcast. Official guest star.
Official guest star, absolutely.
We're not talking about that unofficial episode.
That unofficial episode is a banger too. If I could get that guy to edit it, who I need to add on Discord, your friend. I need to add him on Discord.
The other one.
Yeah, the other one.
I could actually send you the information right now.
Oh, well, I'll worry about it after this. But
Okay.
So I watch NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I don't.
You were at a NASCAR event though.
Okay, if you got free tickets to a sporting event,
I would
go to. Like,
oh, it's cars going fast.
They go vroom vroom real good. Okay, that's all.
Personally, I'm a very big car person.
Yes.
If you start talking about cars with me,
you have a project car. Yes.
I have a project car, which is really surprising to most people because they're like, "Holy shit!"
It's a woman.
Exactly my point. So like, when I start having like a conversation with another guy about cars, they start creaming their pants.
See, I don't know anything about cars, so like, I'm just like.
See, I just bullshit it. I'll be honest. Like, I just found out what an air manifold was by taking that shit out of my car.
I don't even know how to spell that. Like, I mean, okay, manifold, manifold.
Yep.
Hey.
And I hope you know how to spell air.
Air.
Yeah, air.
Air. Wait, my southern accent. Hold on.
Air.
All right. Air. HEIR. Heir to the throne of your mom's balls.
You're great.
All right.
Yep.
No.
You've actually met my mom.
I have met your mom. Your mom's
You have.
really funny and really cool. And
Here's the thing that scares
she's
me.
Very good with makeup.
Okay.
All right, I'll be honest. The makeup was a little shaky that day. I'll be honest.
No, it's always like that. That's the problem.
She looked like she just got done doing meth. I was so confused. Like, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Here's the thing that scares me. You two are too alike. The point where y'all even say the same thing.
Except your mom has a really cool accent.
How the? Okay.
And I'm over here like, God bless America.
Her accent comes out every now and again. Like, she doesn't have it at home. But when she starts
there was only bits and pieces of it. Like, it was here and there, like certain phrases.
For the most part, it's like that. When she starts talking with other immigrants, man, that shit goes 100%. She was like, "Oh yes, I moved here in '99." Exactly my point. Like, she goes
I remember when I told you I knew Russian, and you were like excited, and then I just started yelling COD lines, and I thought you were gonna hit me because people have
found it funny
because people have done that to you before, but they'll just say COD lines. I actually screamed it, so people were like, "Oh, we need to." Did he just say bomb? Like, but that's not Russian. That was from the Arabic guy. But
hey, no, you great pronunciation. I gotta say.
Nah, it's in Modern Warfare. When you're fighting
Granada?
not this spet. It's not you're not fighting this.
It's not.
It's not Spetsnaz or whatever. It's the air. It's the Middle Eastern terrorists, and they're like Granada. I'm like, you sound
Yeah.
Hispanic, bro. Like Granada. That was racist. All right. Anyway, um, yeah. So life's great. I'm sober. Um, mostly. Uh, besides Nyquil, because sinuses. Um,
I
I know someone
yeah.
who drinks Nyquil like whiskey. I'm like, what is wrong with what
Why?
is wrong? Like I have the okay, so the cherry one is just it's cherry. You don't want it. Cherry medicine is
At that point, just drink straight whiskey
I drink straight tequila. Because
or vodka.
they taste the same. I the menthol one, the original flavor is what my pops used to take before he died. And there's a funny memory I have. My dad had just moved in with my pops after my parents got divorced, and my pops, this was like the fifth time I've seen him take a shot of this stuff because he had smoker lungs and he couldn't breathe and coughed a lot, so Nyquil, whatever. And I was like, "Why do you always cringe after you drink that?" Well, it doesn't taste good. Oh, I'm sure it tastes fine. You drink it all the time.
Hmm.
He's like, "No," and I'm like, "I want to try some." And he's like, "No, you don't." And my dad's like, "No, you don't." Or sorry, no, you don't, dumbass. Like,
That's what you probably drank it.
and I was like, "Yeah, dude, give me some." And so he poured me a little bit, and I said, "No, fill it up." Like, and he was like, Paul, and that's my dad's name. He was like,
Hmm.
"Hey, if he's gonna be stupid, he's got to learn." He was like, "All right." So he filled it up, and I drank it. I didn't spit it out, but I didn't swallow it at first either. Like I tried to do this weird push it through my nose mechanic. I don't know. Like I went. Like
Okay.
it was really it was the nastiest stuff. So now I got the honey one recently to try the honey one to see if it's better.
Was it?
At first, yeah, but there's this aftertaste, and it tastes like
Piss.
no, it tastes like butt hair.
Now,
Like
how would
it's
you
like,
know how piss tastes like?
oh, I don't, but I'm gonna presume it doesn't taste like that. um, like at first it tastes all right, and then it's just like
Just kind of disgusting.
not kind of.
It's
It's
very disgusting.
like I
Okay.
sit there and turn into like like I morph into a demon halfway through. I'm like it's really bad. Uh, but yeah, so that's a thing. I'm trying to think of funny things to talk about before we start talking about.
Circling back to your whole thing of like life is good thing, I 100% agree with that statement as of right now.
Life is pretty decent.
It's not horrible.
Minus summer school for me because you don't have that, but I do. It's
Hmm.
pretty decent. Fortnite's fun again, so I play it.
Yeah.
I sweat, literally, because I'm fat. So no, I life's pretty good. Minus there's this okay. There's so my summer school teacher, okay,
Hmm.
he okay teaches at Denmark High School, not our high school.
He's a character.
He no, I mean yeah, like so he's not deadpan. Like he tries to put emotion into his words, but he fails. But you can tell he's trying. He's like, "All right, guys," like it's a deadpan excitement. Like it's not like, "All right, class." It's all right, class. Today, like it's this
Yeah.
slow. But he talks like he talks connected and fast, but it's like this slow
The rhythm
slang.
is slow.
Yeah, like and he like seems like an a-hole. And then I'm sitting there, we had just taken our first test, so I'm done, but there's like 5 minutes left of class. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna scroll through TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok in a few days. And he like I feel a breath hit my neck. And so I thought it was the girl next to me, and I was like, hey, chill, because we talk back and forth all the time, cracking jokes and whatnot. And I was like, hey, chill. And then I turn and I see his head, and then he reaches forward and double taps my screen. Here's the thing. I don't follow influencers on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I follow like 2, but they're not like the hot influencer, G-string wearing all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not that kind of influencer. And I follow mostly meme accounts, but I wasn't on my following page. I was on my For You page. Swear to you. Do you know who Megna is?
No, I do not.
It might as well be a softcore porn star.
Okay.
I scroll as I notice him, and it's her. I don't follow her. I've never followed her. I've never liked a single one of her TikToks, like, ever. But, of course, it's when she's, like, shaking her butt or whatever, and I'm like, wow, great. And he's like, nice one, bro. He pats me on the shoulder. And I'm like, dude, I swear to you. And then I'm like, God, what did I do? Like, what like, don't answer that question. But, like, what did I do? And
What did I do this time?
Don't answer that question either. I was so, like, and then I leaned over to the girl next to me, and I was like, did you see what just happened? She was like, that was kind of creepy. I was like, yeah, like, I'm about to report harassment. Hello. Now, let me tell you about real quick. We're about to dive into the other stuff, but, so I have my math teacher earlier in the school year was a guy named Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Cobb. And this guy, okay. Okay, he's a bigger guy. He's a heavy set guy. Okay. 350, 340, probably somewhere in there. Older fellow. And every day at summer school, I've walked in with food. Because of antibiotics, I have to eat, whatever. And every morning, he, like, looks at me and nods at me. But I catch him glance at my food. I'm like, you fat son of a... The one day I didn't walk in with food, dude didn't even acknowledge me. I was like, you fat, obese piece of garbage. Like,
you're joking. Come on.
I'm not. He didn't even acknowledge my existence. I was like, my God, come on. You can't see the face I'm making, but I was like, come on. Like, seriously now. I was like, you fat child, grandpa. We're all convinced that dude's like a human trafficker. Like we were making jokes about it in class. We were like, this dude, because at one point he's talking about when we were actually in his math class during the regular school year, he's talking about like, yeah, I'm a teacher, obviously, blah 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 blah. Then my various other side gigs, and I turned and I looked at my now ex, who
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you had math with her?
That's not how we met. That's how we reconnected. Yeah.
After y'all broke up, that must have been fun.
For 2 weeks, I didn't talk to her, only because of the way she broke up with me. A day after my surgery, while I was high on Oxy over Snapchat, because I was salty at the time. Which we joke about it now, like it's hilarious to me now. Because like at like that day, I didn't care because I was like, okay, like whatever. But and then like a couple days later, after everything wore off, I was like, that bitch, like you mother. And like I mean it was a 2-week relationship. I wasn't actually upset. I was mad at the like cowardice of it. And because I'm petty. And so I didn't talk to her for like 2 weeks or any of them. And then another person, I don't want to call her the popular girl. You know who I'm talking about, right?
The one that I know?
Name starts with a C.
Probably not, because...
No, I know you know her, because you don't like her.
Her last name?
Also starts with a C.
First name?
Starts with a C. Okay, you know what? We'll hold on.
I'll be honest, I don't really know who you're talking about.
Check your Snapchat.
Oh, her! I don't even think about her.
Well, yeah, but like I think you've publicly said before you don't like her, whatever. Anyway.
Not public. Okay, here's the thing.
Me, not publicly, but to me.
Oh yeah, okay, to you, because it's public. Okay.
But she sits behind her,
Mm-hmm.
and finally, and they're talking about my other best friends, my actual junior friends who like backstab me and this, that, and the other.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly what
right
you're talking
after I
about.
had surgery as well. Like
Okay, never mind.
everyone waited to screw with me when I had surgery. But you know how people don't mess with me when I'm actually there?
No, I
like,
believe me, I do know.
like
I was
people
there.
don't fuck with me. And then I leave for 2 weeks and everyone's like, now's our chance. I'm like, what? No! Like, Batman, revenge time.
No, that's petty. That's really petty.
Yeah, but what I did was pettier, so.
No, okay, here's the thing. They're too afraid to say anything, and then once they have like a false sense of security, they're like, we can shit
And
on
I'm
him.
like, so you told your mom about quote unquote what happened,
Yeah.
and then your mom friended me on Facebook. Okay,
Wait, are you joking?
okay, so her mom had friended me on Facebook like a few weeks before, but I didn't accept it because I didn't see it. Right,
Wait,
the same day
wait.
that she tells me we're not friends anymore, I open
Oh,
up.
I thought you were talking about me. I was just like, my
No,
mom does not do
no, no,
that.
no, no. The same day that she told me that we weren't friends anymore, I happened to open up Facebook and go through my friend request, and her mom was there. I accepted it. Like, and she never unfriended me. Like, I like her posts, whatever. The family stuff and whatnot. And now we're on, like, decent terms. But,
You and her mom, or you and her?
me and her,
Oh, okay.
her mom and dad glared at me at the chorus concert. And
Oh.
I was like, come here and talk to me. See, get my side of the story. See whose makes more sense. But whatever. Um,
See, here's what I don't understand with people. They always hear one side of the story and never the other.
and like I get why she believes her kid because her kid is quote unquote one of the most honest people on the planet. Her kid is a piece of shit. Like, pick me, sways her hips when
Excuse
she
me.
walks for no reason.
Oh.
I'm like, look, I get it, you're Hispanic, but stop cha-cha dancing everywhere you go. Like, I mean, like, call me racist. It's true. Ask people. They'll tell you. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So I turned around and I looked at girl you don't like, and, well, girl we both don't like now. Because they were talking about that, but they didn't know we weren't friends anymore. So they were like, and I had my AirPods in, but I had paused my song because I was reading something and I couldn't focus because it was like a loud bass song. And I was reading and I heard, should we ask Josh? Should we see if he's gonna stop being petty and talk to us? And I I didn't turn around yet, and the girl sitting behind, girl you don't like in particular, was like, "Hey Josh," and I turned around with the biggest like evil grin on my face and just
Imagine it. Oh my god.
yes. like like just like that, just yes. And they were like, that's creepy. Okay. Anyway, and I was like, oh, I don't talk to her anymore. She like hates me apparently. And they were like, what? Because all of them were like, y'all are dating, and we're like, no, we're not. We're no. Ugh. And so
Wait, can I talk about the girl that I don't like for a quick hot sec?
sure.
So I had a class with her. I had an art class. I'm not gonna say which one, but it's an art class, right? And we were
It's
sitting at the
okay. She
same
doesn't
table.
watch this. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay. I'm still not gonna say it, but
No, no,
we
that's
had
fine.
an
I'm just
art
letting you
class.
know.
I mean, how do you know that? You know?
But because she has
It's just...
explicitly told me she will never watch this.
Anyways, so we have an art class together, and like we're chill, and me, it's a mutual friend, well, mutual between me and her,
Yeah.
and another, and like the mutual friend and her friend,
Mm-hmm.
like this girl that I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my friend, we're just like chilling, and then apparently that girl starts like talking shit about her and other things like that, and I'm just like, damn, okay, cool. And then like I hear some pretty nasty rumors, and I'm like, shit, great. Not gonna say anything because it's none of my place. It's like nothing to do with me.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm gonna keep that in mind for later. So
I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna blackmail you.
hey, I'm not like you. I just keep things in my head. I don't actually have anything on anyone, but
Oh, that's where we differ. Anyway, continue.
we like I'm just like, okay, well I don't like this person. Like I don't know why but not to get all spiritual, not to get all like,
Uh-oh.
white girl, type of shit. But I have a
There's a special place in hell for people who say, I'm not religious, I'm just spiritual. There's a special place in hell for you. Anyway, continue.
I am a person with very good intuition. I meet someone and I could tell their motives and I could tell if they're a good person. I don't know
Cap.
how.
Cap. Cap. Cap.
No.
Cap.
No. Mm-mm.
Cap.
Nope.
Cap.
Nope.
Cappity cap.
Just hear me out.
Cap.
Some people.
It's the topic we agreed not to talk about that I'm calling Cap for, but Cap.
Okay, well you can have that one, but I'm saying in general. I'm not talking about.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Some people, I see the red flags and I'm like, you're not a good person. But.
Anyway.
So, like with you, I'm like,
Ew.
made some mistakes, but is still a good person.
I try.
And like, I don't know, I could just read people really well when it comes to that sort of thing. With her, I'm just like, From like day one, I was just like, I don't want to talk to this girl. I don't want to have anything. Like, I don't want to even be friends or acquaintances.
Oh, no. Because that girl... Okay, so they asked me at one point, they were like, why are you so mean to us? Because at first I was like incredibly rude to all of them except girl I dated.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at her and said, well, you're a bitch. And then looked at the girl behind her and said, you're just dramatic and attention seeking and whore. And and my teacher like looked at me and was like, you can't say that. And I went, I did, sorry. And then she looked at the one you don't like, looked me dead in the face and went, I'm not. And then like a month later was like, yeah, I am.
No, because she's the type of person you're like, you're a bitch. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, but
at least she owns up to it.
My thing is, why not change? Why not become a better person?
I mean, people call me an a-hole, and I'm like, you're absolutely right. Like, and I love it.
Yeah, but at least you're trying. You know.
I was like a couple weeks ago, and now I'm just like, you know what? I have friends. I'm mostly nice to them, mostly. But I also have some other issues that, while I take it out on my friends, they understand that I don't mean to. And I've gotten better about it, and I am working on it. But those are unrelated to me just being an a-hole. Those are more things I can't control at the moment. Neurologist.
This is a great segue.
This is a great segue, hence why I'm doing it.
Things we can't control.
Women. Anyway. Sorry.
That's a topic for another day.
Sorry. Things we can't. Sorry. But... it just, I've stopped being able to care that people look at me and go, oh, that guy sucks. Because I'm like, if you don't take the time, and I understand that you might not want to because you're scared or whatever. See, that's something I've never had to deal with, is like social anxiety. I am the most gift of gab, silver-tongued person at our school. Guaranteed. I can talk to anybody. I don't care. What now? If they talk back to me is one thing, probably not. But I could go up to anyone and say close to anything without a care in the world. Like, I'll introduce myself to anyone because it doesn't scare me. And if someone isn't willing to hear me out and listen to me and be like, one thing, people are like, oh, I'm busy. I'm like, okay, well, we'll talk another time. And depending on their response tells me what kind of person they are. If they're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Give me a few minutes, whatever. Okay, I can handle you. Or I can deal with you. Oh, well, I don't know if I'll be able to. You don't want to talk to me. Okay, fine, bye, whatever. Cool. And I'm always right about it. Like, who's a good example of this that you would understand or know?
I think you have a person in mind.
I do, but I don't know how to describe him without people that go to our school knowing who I'm talking about.
Just Snapchat me his name.
Yeah, but I don't want to leave like the show out of context. How do I put?
Go on.
Okay, here I said it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay, here's how I met him.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of person he is. So I joined chorus late, in the middle. Excuse me, in September, because I'd signed up for chorus. 'Cause I was in chorus my freshman year. Then COVID happened halfway through that, or well, whatever. And then I wasn't in it last year because I just wanted a break. I was burnt out on music, whatever. I get there this year, even though I signed up for it, I didn't get it. So I went to my counselor. I was like, "Hey, I signed up for this. Why didn't I get it?" And she was like, "Oh, this is a mistake. I'll fix it. Sure." So I joined like middle of September. Here's how I meet this kid. Chorus teacher, was like, "Oh, this is Josh. He was one of my students his 2 years ago, pre-COVID. Nice kid. Okay, cool. Whatever. Nice guy. Whatever. Sure." I think she kind of winked at the class when she said "nice guy." I couldn't tell, but I don't know. I introduced myself to guy issues with you, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Hey man, yeah, we know each other." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I didn't know if you remember me. That was like 2 years ago. COVID happened. What's up, man? We
Well,
caught up."
you had chorus together?
No, we had graphics together.
Mm. Oh yeah, he was a big graphics guy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then I'm going around, and then I see this guy.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell if he's a freshman or if he's a senior. Like, because to me, he's one of those.
Yeah.
He's one of those. He could be anything. He might be an eighth grader. Like, I mean, you can't tell. But I get this sense of just entitlement. Just this sense of
I'm better than you.
Literally, and I'm like, you know what? I'll try. Hey, I'm Josh. Nice to meet you. He's like, oh, hey, yeah, cool. Real quick, if you don't mind me asking, what grade are you in? Because I just don't recognize you. I recognize most of these people. What grade are you in? Oh, I'm a senior. And I saw your guy look over and kind of, okay. And then so I kind of caught that out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh boy, okay. And I was like, really? Yeah, man. Okay, sure. Not 5 minutes later, teacher's calling roll or whatever. She's kind of helping everybody get introduced to me, whatever. Oh yeah, this is him. He's in 10th grade. Oh boy, I'm mad now. Not because you lied to me, because I was right. Because I was right about the kind of person you are. And I turned around, I was like, yeah, you're not a senior, are you? And he was like, yeah, I just thought it was funny. And I'm like, you only take yourself seriously. I see.
No, okay. Okay. I joined theater. Yes, I'm a theater kid. Okay, whatever.
Theater,
Cool.
look, theater kids, minus the ones that I don't like, are all good. Because the ones I don't like, I have good reasons not to like.
Which is fair. But I joined theater. It's our Christmas show. I'm doing props.
I remember your Christmas show. That was a great show.
Amazing show.
Said person was lead role, by the way.
Yeah.
Main role.
He wouldn't preset his props. And I'm like, this boy apparently is a big theater guy. Cause he like is like, oh, I've done like over 30 shows with this theater. I'm like, okay, so you should know what you're doing.
I'm like, that's great. Good for you. I don't care.
I'm like, I made these props for you, or I found them, or whatever the hell. These are yours. I don't know where the fuck they're supposed to go. Go put them wherever they need to be. Okay, cool.
Never did it.
I never did it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to them. I'm like, hey, I see that you didn't preset your props. Could you please do that? We are doing run-throughs and, you need your stuff, or the show isn't going to be good and you need to do it. Yeah, okay. Doesn't do it. Third time I come up to him and talk to him, his girlfriend is next to him.
Oh, don't even get me started on her. Anyway.
And she's just like, oh, okay, well, thank you for telling us. And then she goes and presets his props, and I'm like, okay, well, I kind of see where this is going.
Oh, so she preset his props?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Here's where it gets, like, slightly more, like, interesting, I guess.
Mm-hmm. He removes them.
No. It's one of our show dates.
Mm-hmm.
And just like always, he didn't preset his props. So, as always, I go up and I'm like, hey, can you please, like, I started talking to him like a child. Because, like, he's, acting like a child. So I'm like, I'm going to treat you like a
He's
child.
got the mental capacity of
I'm
like a
like,
9-year-old.
hey, did you preset your props yet? They need to go where they, like, into their, like, specific spots. Don't talk to me like a child. I'm like, well, if you want to keep acting like a child, I'll keep treating you like a child. And that means talking to you like a child. So how about you go and preset your props? He got so pissed off, and that was, like, the
S-
highlight.
Speaking of him and piss,
Okay.
Do you know about like the rumor from the middle school about the guy that like peed backstage like in a corner of one of the dressing rooms or something?
No, I did not.
Oh, because you didn't go to that middle school, did you?
No, I did not.
That's right. Well, there's a story because there
Mm.
was a puddle of urine,
Oof.
like clear as day, was not Mountain Dew, like like in a corner, and everyone's like, the last person back here was that guy. No, like, and so one day I like he ticked me off, and I said, "Listen, piss room," and he kind of got this weird look on his face of, "Hold on, you're not supposed to know about that." Like that was the vibe I got, and I was like, "Yeah, got your ass." Like, and like nobody got it. Nobody got it. Like nobody understood what I was saying. Anything, and it was so great because it was just a moment between me and him where he understood that I didn't care who he was. That don't be an a hole, and we're good. Like I can be friends with you, or I can like be acquainted with you.
See, okay, okay, well, I don't love talking trash, but
Oh, I do.
he's also one of the people that I met, and I was instantly like, horrible person. Don't want anything to do with you. Mm-mm.
Facts, such facts. I
So
tried.
as m-
Uh,
so as much as I want to keep talking crap about him, I also don't because I
that's
have to
fair.
spend the next 2 years in theater with him.
Yeah, you do. I don't. Bye. Like, okay. Well, then we'll finish that part with this. Is like okay. So I've tried to be nice to him. Tried my damnedest to be nice to him.
Here's the thing, if you're putting in all the effort and you're not getting anything back, stop
Well,
trying.
like I don't want to be friends with him because he's not someone I could be friends with. I just want there to be a mutual respect of hey, we're people. Let's act like people. Not I'm trash beneath your feet, so walk over me. Like you're not Travis Scott. You're not gonna walk on me. Like okay, that was a terrible joke. That was bad. Anyway, but like that's all I ask of like anyone I meet is like don't be an a hole to me because I'm not gonna be an a hole to you unless you're an a hole to me. And even still, I'd normally try to be the bigger person and not literally. No jokes out of you, E. Okay. Actually, I don't have to worry about that with you, but you get the point. Um, I just people like him are my problem with people.
I agree.
Yeah, like
It's the it's the entitlement, I guess,
and
and then thinking,
and it's not just him at our school. Like there's so many.
but it's also he puts people down for no reason. He treats people who treat him like normally, he treats them horribly. People who treat him badly, he treats them even worse, and people who like
Well,
kiss his ass, he treats normally.
and like even though we've already kind of given away who he is for the people who know him, I'm not gonna say what I said to him one day when he really made me mad because one, it was incredibly rude of me, but it made a point because there is a few reasons why he acts the way he does, and they're not good excuses. Like as someone with diagnosed mental issues that are supposed to make me act a certain way, I've learned to control them for the most part. And he doesn't have those issues and he just acts like a child anyway.
Here's my whole thing on like acting a certain way. I great segue. I had I wouldn't say the worst childhood. I wouldn't say it was horrible. I wouldn't say it was bad, but it wasn't the best.
Right.
It was below decent. And I've met people who have it, well, at least had it way better than me at a certain point. And they would literally let all of their like past not, I wouldn't say traumas, but past like experiences with like their parents and with everything else, like dictate how they were. And I'm like, hey yo, you are living better than me. You have a stable home life. Why are you acting this way? Well, it's because what I went through was traumatic. I'm like, I went through objectively like more than you, and I'm still a decent human being.
Oh yeah.
What's up with that?
Oh yeah. Like I've let you in a little bit on my childhood, and the past and stuff like that. I've let you in a little bit on that, and there's things that a lot of people don't, and people. Okay, I don't want to get political. I don't want to get stereotypical. They see a white boy who dresses like a white boy. Like that's what a lot of people see from me. Like I don't look rich, but I don't always look poor. Like I look about like an average person.
Yeah, I would agree with
Which is
that.
where I try to be in society as an average person at least, so that I can like get by. But and people, I've had a kid at our school who is not white. Okay, look me dead in the face and go, "Oh, well, you're white, so you wouldn't understand." And it was talking about parental issues. And I kind of like stopped and I looked at him and I said, "Dude, I understand your anger. I understand where you're coming from. I really do." And it's not me trying to be like, I know what you're going through. I did, to an extent, from a different experience or two I had had. Not quite the same, but similar. And I told him, and so I sat him down for 2 hours after school. And we sat there and we talked, and I told him everything. He is one of like 5 people I have let in on the entire life story of me. And he like got expelled not long after. Like he's gone. But we came to this understanding of just because I look a certain way or I talk a certain way or I act a certain way does not mean that I have it that way. Cuz I always tell people I'm not an optimist, I'm a realist. And I really do try to like live up to that because I'm all for looking forward to things and being hopeful, but I'm not normally super optimistic about things. Like I'm not a pessimist. I don't think everything's terrible and gonna go wrong and this, that, and the other. I'm kind of a realist. I'm kind of just, this is the way it is. Hopefully it'll change, but this is the way it is. And people like call me an a-hole for that because I'm excruciatingly blunt with people, which you can attest to.
Personally, I like the bluntness.
Well, yeah, most people don't.
Now, here's my reason for it. I would rather someone say, "Hey, I see what you're doing and I don't like it. Can you change the way that you are? Like, can you change this certain action?" And I'll be like, "I didn't notice that I was doing this. Let me change it." Rather than, "Hey, so like you know how people would beat around the bush?
Yeah, they're like, there's just things in life that I don't agree with and don't like, and
That
you
pisses me off more.
know, and here are some of them, and they like describe you as a person without just like
Describing you.
without just pointing fingers at you, but they're like passively pointing fingers at you, and they're like, and I just can't be around things like that. Anyway, have a nice day. Like, like that. Oh God, I can't.
It pisses me off.
Because all of my friends understand. All of my friends, including you, understand that I am one of the few people in this world that you can be completely honest with about me, and I'll be like, okay. Like, I won't get mad. As long as you're, like, respectful about things, I won't get mad. I won't argue with you. I'll ask for an explanation, per se. But I won't be like, no, that's not me. I would never do that, or anything like that. And which goes back to what I was telling this kid, and I was like, I understand life is rough for you right now, and that maybe you grew up with it being rough, but it's not just you that has it rough, so don't treat people Like it's just you. And then that whole conversation could end up delving into all sorts of depression and, people thinking they're alone in life, and which is a huge thing I advocate, and that I'm all very honest with people when it comes to them looking at me and being like, well, like the people that are and I think I might have talked about this before. A person who you're friends with who's like this, and she and other people are like, well, I was so depressed I couldn't do it, or I couldn't deal with it.
Mhm.
Okay. I battle with depression. I've quit taking antidepressants because they just tend to make me dead inside. But, and I've battled with it since late elementary school, early middle school. And at first I was someone who was like, well, I couldn't do it because of this, because of that, because I was so upset and depressed and hated myself. And sometimes that really is a thing, is I was so depressed I could not do anything. I was so unmotivated with life. I didn't have the motivation to like lay down and go to sleep. I would just sit there in a ball and just not even ponder about things, just blankly emptiness just sitting there. Like you could almost see through me. It was like ghost like. But there's people that do that 24/7. I go to this card shop. You know what I'm talking about, the place you and your mom stopped by to say hey the other day.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks, whatever. I'm sitting there and there's a bunch of people playing Pokemon. No, I wasn't one of them. I don't play Pokemon. I hate Pokemon. I'd rather play Bakugan. Anyway, sitting there playing Pokemon, and this guy walks in. He sits down, real shallow, real shy. The only thing you can see in his eyes is just like pain. Excuse me. Like I could look at this guy and be like, this dude cried like 2 seconds before walking into this door. Guarantee you this guy had a panic attack before walking in because of all the social anxiety, which is fine. Like, I'm not judging. I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, everyone has their demons and their battles. And he signs up for the event, or for an event that they're going to do. And he plays the first round and he loses. Okay, it happens. I play a card game, or used to. I don't really play that much anymore, called Magic the Gathering. I did tournaments all the time. Lose the first round, you keep going. Unless you're just like absolutely bored and tired and you just want to go home, then fine, leave. Like if you didn't pay your way into it, whatever. This wasn't a paid event, but whatever. There was prize money, or not money, prize pool on the line. And, they called out the pairings for the second round of the Pokemon event. And the guy I know who was running it looks at Sad Guy, and are you gonna play your match? Your opponent's waiting over there for you, and he's putting his things together, and he's kind of not quickly, but very hyperly, not hyper.
Like he's pissed off.
No, shakily, like he's very shaky, putting his stuff away. And he's packing up, and it's kind of quick paced, but he's not like rushing, speeding through it like sloppily. Like it's organized, but it's pretty good pace. Like, I mean, he's not taking his time, just getting ready to leave. He'll be gone in a minute. No, like he's getting ready, like to get out. And he's like, no, just drop me. I meant to say something before the round started. I'm sorry. I'm too depressed to do this today. And he's like, oh well. Do you need someone to talk to? I'm not really busy. I mean, nobody's asking questions. I can sit here and talk to you if you want. We'd love to have you stay and play. I mean, we appreciate you here. Like, he gives them this whole motivational thing. He's like, we appreciate you playing here, and, and he's like, no, I just want to go home. Okay. There is a difference from hiding from your problems and running from your problems.
And he's clearly running.
He is running from his problem. Like, this dude is full sprint. Usain Bolt running from his problems. He's not hiding from it, because if he was hiding from it, he would have sat there and played through it even though he didn't want to.
Or he wouldn't even have come.
Or he wouldn't have even come. He's running from it because he's leaving. And, the guy running is like, no, seriously, sit down and play. You might win, whatever. And at this point, he was probably going to prompt the guy, because he's playing someone else who lost the first round. He's going to prompt them and be like, hey, kind of, don't necessarily let him win, but go easy on him, whatever. Yeah. Actually, no, he probably wouldn't have done that. That's what I would have done. But I guess that's kind of an a-hole move. But, and the guy's like, no, I'm just too depressed. Like, he's not even looking at him. Like, he's just kind of looking up like, no, I'm too depressed. I don't want to do this today. I can't do this, blah, 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 whatever. And he's like, all right, fine. Have a good day. Bye. And he just turns around and walks away because he's done with it. It's this attention-seeking side of it that's hard for people to deal with. And the guy coordinating event and doing the event is not the happiest person. Like, I know this guy. I've known him for a long time. He's suffered and dealt with and battled depression. Or at least, from what I understand, he has to an extent. So it's not like he's just blindly trying to be nice to this guy because he doesn't know what to do. He knows exactly what to do. I mean, for a common civilian who's not a psychologist or a therapist. But this guy just won't have it. He will not have it. He will not look for help to his problem for that day. And people like that, for me, being like that at one point, at really just a really young age, but being like that at one point in life, it infuriates me. Because of how easy it really was to kind of have someone make you smile for long enough to get through the day. We had a friend. I'm not going to say his name, but he was the funniest person I've ever met. The funniest person I've ever met. And life wasn't great for him. He was very depressed. But he slapped a smile on his face, and he got through his day, and he worked, and this, that, and the other, and he went home, whatever. And he dealt with it like a working class person. And I just found out that I couldn't go back to school. This was when I got kicked out of middle school for literally being depressed. And then that also I wasn't going to be able to play football. And he's in the car with me and my dad. We were going to get food. We were all just going together, hanging out. And my dad could not get me to listen, couldn't make me laugh. And my dad always has something to make me laugh, or at least get my attention. He couldn't do it. Give the man all the credit in the world. Love that man to death, but he could not. He tried everything. He tried the worst dad jokes in history. At one point he looks at me and goes, "Where do math teachers go on vacation?" Times Square. And he's just, and because corny stuff like that makes me laugh because I expect it from him. Mm-hmm. And I just, nothing. Just stayed looking out the window, just gone. This asshole gets in the car, not my dad, the other guy, gets in the car, and he starts to tell me this joke. And it's called the monk joke. And I'm going to tell you this joke right now. Okay, E?
Okay. I'm ready.
It's gonna take a few minutes. I'm going to shorten it because he made it last 30 minutes. I'm going to shorten it a little bit.
I appreciate it.
So, there's this guy. There's this guy, and he's coming home from work. He's going down the highway, and his car breaks down. It's a nicer car, but things happen. Tire's blown. He gets pulled over. He's in the middle of, Route 66. There's nothing. It's just desert or woods or whatever. There's nothing. But he sees off in the distance this, tall building. And if you've ever played video games or read any comics or seen any movies, it looks like a stereotypical monk monastery, if you know what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, those are supposed to be nice people.
Supposed to be.
I'll walk over there and see if maybe I can get some help. And so he walks over. It takes him like
Wait,
20.
why is there a monk not cemetery?
Shut up! Don't ask
Okay,
don't
okay,
ask questions.
okay.
All right, don't ruin it. All right, because here's the thing: you're not gonna laugh at the end of this joke, probably. I'm going to, and now I'm gonna have to show this to my dad so he can laugh. Anyway, so he walks over. It takes him 20, 30 minutes to get there or whatever. I mean, it's a pretty decent walk. And he knocks on the door. It's evening time. It's sun's starting to set. And he knocks on the door, and this guy comes up to the door. Older looking fella, probably the head monk, whatever. Kind of looks like it. How can I help you? And he's like, well, my car broke down. I don't have service. I can't get anybody out here. Is there any way I can help y'all get it over here just, for the night. If there's any way you can give me somewhere to stay, just for the night, that would be amazing. And he's like, absolutely. A couple of the guys, probably used to be mechanics. Very common profession. We'll get some guys. We'll get it moved. We'll give you a place to sleep tonight. We'll feed you. Come on in. All right. He's like, all right, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay. So, he goes and he showers and puts on robes. They look kind of like monk robes, but they're clearly for like, not higher up monks, like you're kind of new monk. But they're nice, they're comfortable.
Why is the robe is white?
They're almost like pajamas.
Okay, never mind.
Almost. And he sits down at the table. They're all talking. He's eating. They're having a good time. Whatever. It's dark out now. He goes back to his room, and they kind of give him a room down this hallway. And at the end of the hallway, there's this door. Doesn't look like anything, but there's this door. But he goes to his room and he lays down and he's about to fall asleep. It's real cozy. He's like, man, this bed is surprisingly comfortable. Like, I mean, and he's about to fall asleep, and right as he's about to nod off, he just hears this god awful just this screech down the hall. And he kind of like jumps up and is like, oh god, like sounds like something bad's happening to somebody. And he peeks his head out the door and he sees this door, and it sounds like the noise is coming from that door, and he's like, you know what? It's probably nothing. I'm just gonna lay back down. He lays back down, and he hears the noise again, right as he's about to fall asleep, and he gets up, and he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm not doing it. And he goes back to sleep. Next morning, gets up, goes down for breakfast, and he sits down across from the head monk. And they're sitting there talking. He's like, all right, I gotta ask. I have a question. What's up? Last night, as I was about to fall asleep, I heard this god-awful noise from down at the end of the hall, and I assume everybody's okay because there's no calamity here. There's nothing bad happening. Nobody seems shocked, but is everything all right? Oh, yeah, it's monk business. I can't really tell you, but yeah, no, everything's fine. He's like, you promise? Yeah, no, everything's fine. Okay. And, they get his car fixed, and he leaves, and he gets home. Couple years go by. Oh, he kind of started to look a little shaggy, a little older. And he's going down, and I'll be damned if his car didn't break down in the same spot again. A couple years have passed at this point, and he's like, you've got to be kidding me. And he's like, man, oh, yeah. There's those really nice monk people. And he's like, but I'm going to feel bad. I have to. And so he goes back, he knocks on the door, and the head monk's like, hey, you looking to be a monk? And he's like, no, my car broke down again. And he's like, come on, we'll take care of you. Gets showered, whatever. And he's eating dinner. They eat dinner. All's well and good. Lays down to go to sleep. And right as he's about to fall asleep, once again, just this horrific blood-curdling noise. And he's like, all right, I gotta know what it is. So he gets out of the room, he throws his robes back on, and he tiptoes down the hall, real quiet, real sneakily. And he goes to grab the door at the end of the hall, goes to grab the doorknob, and he feels a hand on the back of his shoulder, turns around, it's the monk master, and he's like, hey man, you can't go in there. Is everything all right? Everything's fine. All right, if you say so. And he goes and he lays back down. They put him back in his room. And right as he's about to fall asleep, he hears a scream again. He tunes it out. He's like, you know what? In the morning, I'm going to figure out what this is. So he gets up the next morning, puts on his robes real fast. He's down at breakfast before anybody else is. He's waiting on the head monk. I mean, he's just sitting there waiting. And the head monk sits down. He's like, you're up early. And, and he's like, yeah, man, I got to know what that noise was. And he's like, it's monk business. I can't tell you unless you become a monk. And he sits there for a minute and he thinks. He's like, well, what does it take to become a monk? And the head monk's like, you ain't gonna do it. You're a working person. You ain't gonna do that. You got a nice life. Don't throw that away. And he's like, nah, tell me, what's it take to be a monk? And all the other monks kind of lean in, and they're kind of listening. They're not talking. They're, whispering to each other a little bit, and they lean in. And the head monk's like, all right, I want you to go to each beach, every beach in the world, and count the grains of sand. All right, yeah, that's ridiculous, man. You can't count all the grains of sand. That's what you got to do. And he's like, whatever. All right, I'll be back. I'm going to go do this. And he leaves. His car's fixed up. They're all like, good luck, man. Have fun. He takes a week off of vacation. He heads down to Daytona and Panama and Miami, Tampa Bay for that week, he's counting sand. And, he's like, I don't understand the point of this. This is stupid. Well, he takes another week off of vacation because he's got the time. He heads to the Bay Area, California, those beaches, stuff like that. And he's counting the grains of sand. And, he's in San Francisco, and he kind of sees the slums of it, and he starts talking to people, and he sees how poor the people are there. And even though San Francisco is supposed to be this nice city, it's nasty, it's terrible, it's just disgusting. So he quits his job. And he leaves his wife and kids, whatever. Terrible, terrible thing. And he goes to Hawaii. And he's down in Hawaii, and there's a bunch of different beaches in Hawaii on the different islands. And he's counting the grains of sand, and he sees, people that live in Hawaii, they can just go to the beach whenever they want, pretty much. And he sees the nicer side of things, and rich people up in the hills, and or not the hills, but the upper echelon parts of Hawaii, and all these nice places. And then he goes down to the other parts of Hawaii and sees the middle class people. They work, and then they go to the beach on the weekends because they can, but they have to work their way through it, whatever. They're not here just to relax. And then he goes down some more, and he sees the poor people, sort of like he did in San Francisco and in parts of Miami too, even. And he's counting the grains of sand. He's talking to people, and he's learning. He learned from the rich people about how they were there and why they were there, and this and the other. But he's still counting sands. He's still counting grains of sand. 1, 2, whatever. Well, and then he's like, you know what? I need to go to another beach outside of America. So he heads to France and Venice and those places and the beaches there and all sorts of other places around the world. Sees the rich, the middle, and the poor. And then finally it dawns on him. I'm not here to count grains of sand. I'm here to understand the aspects of life and the kinds of life people live. So he goes back. His car's busted. It's nasty. It's filled with garbage and food, and he's got this long beard and these long black and white salt and peppered head of hair. I mean, the dude just looks horrible. And he gets back to the monk monastery. I mean, he's tired. He's done nothing but walk beaches, which sounds like paradise. Really not. He's sunburnt. Just horrible looking. And he goes to knock on the door, and before he can, the door opens. Welcome back. He's like, I know what it means to be a monk. And they welcome him in. They clean him up. They cut his hair. They get him a shower. Gets him some aloe for that sunburn because he's a pale person, probably a ginger. And they sit down at a table, and they're like, okay. And the head monk's like, all right, what did you learn? And he goes on this tangent about, the different sides of life and, people that just lounge and relax and don't do anything. And then the people that have to work and then they can relax. And then the people that all they do is work or the addicted people and this, that, and the other. and this real somber, serious moment. And the head monk's like, okay, welcome to the club. Welcome to the monk monastery. You're a monk. He's like, really? Yeah, cool. And he goes to lay down that night. He's eating dinner. He goes to lay down that night, and there's a knock on his door. And he's like, hey, you get to find out what's behind that door now. I promise this is the shortened version. you get to find out what's behind that door now. So, and he's like, oh, yeah, the whole reason I did this. Cool. And he's real excited. And they get to the door, and it's a nice wooden door, oak, probably. Matches the building. Okay. And the head monk, opens up this little box, got a key in it, and he hands it to the guy. He's like, go ahead, open the door. And he opens the door, and behind it is another door. It's a nicer door. It's got silver and gold and purple accents with jewels around it, and it's a pretty door. I mean, kind of expensive. And opens that door, and behind it is another door. And this one's just a solid steel door. Just as basic as you can get. It looks like a warehouse. He opens that door, and now there's another door, and it looks like it's been made out of a crashed boat. And he's like, all right, guys, come on. And they're like, we have to have a little fun with the initiates, okay? And he opens that door. Now it's just ridiculous. Now it's curtains and it's bed sheets, and he has to move out of the way. And finally, there's a set of beads, and he goes through the set of beads, and finally there's another door. And he looks, is this the last door? This is the last door. So he's kind of excited, and he sits there for a moment, and he takes it in, and he's like, I'm a monk. This is I get used to this. This is cool. And the monk the monk master turns around to another monk, grabs another box, got a he's like, another key, nicer key. And he goes to put the key into the door, and he opens the door. And I'd love to tell you what's behind the door, but you're not a monk, so I can't tell you what was behind the door.
The whole entire thing, just for that ending.
That's the whole point of the joke. Here's the and this is the joke.
I sat for 20 minutes.
You're telling me, and I'm sitting in this car, and I'm like baffled because I'm sitting there, and he's just going on and on. He drug this joke on for an hour car ride. Like, there were all sorts of doors from material. There was a vibranium door at one point. Like, he dragged this joke on. And my dad knows what's coming, and my dad's snickering through it out. And I'm like, this isn't funny. This is boring. But it sounds like it's got a cool ending, so you're listening. And finally, he's like, and I can't tell you what's behind the door. You're not a monk. And I unbuckle my seatbelt. I turn around, I slap him on the stomach. You son of a, hey, you wasted me. And he's like, yeah, but now you're not depressed, are you? I was like, fuck you. And then I kind of sat there and laughed and was like, that's really funny. And it's not funny because the joke's funny. It's funny because the people who have heard the joke know the reaction that's coming at the end of the joke. My dad would be so proud of me. Rest in peace, big man. Not my dad. He's alive. The guy who told the joke. Rest in peace.
I cannot believe you wasted so much of my time.
I did it to Miss Neal.
during wait, you did it to her during like a class?
Yeah, but it only took like 10 minutes. She was like, I've only got like 15 minutes. I was like, all right, I'll make it quick. And everyone's gathered around. This is her 5th period class. And everyone's gathered around. And then like, and I'm like, hey, can y'all make some room real quick? Because I'm getting ready to run out the door at the mob that's about to attack me when I finish this joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, and I'm acting like I'm opening doors, and I'm like, yeah, and then, last door, and he opens it, and I look Miss Neal dead in the eye, and I'm like, I'd love to tell you what's behind that door, Miss Neal, but it's official monk business, and you're not a monk. You wasted and everyone's like, you piece of, and I turn around, and I book it through that door. I was gone. like I was the monk business. You don't know what's behind that door. Like, I was gone. Yeah, it's literally just a time waster. When my dad used to smoke cigarettes, he once smoked half a pack of cigarettes, walked into the store. He's still telling this joke. He's not even at the doors yet. Like, you can draw this joke out for hours. I've heard a story of him drawing it out for like 2 hours. But it was an interesting story, wasn't it?
Yeah, interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Jay, when I see you, it's on site. It's on
It's
site.
on site.
It's on site. Just be
E.
ready.
E, girl.
Be ready.
You know
I know,
you
like,
ain't gonna do nothing.
I know I'll fuck with down, but I could stare you down like it won't be the last day of your earth. I don't know English.
You ain't gonna do nothing. Well, we've been recording for I think well over an hour now.
We could
So
split it into two parts because I was gonna talk about something like somber and like more gravitated to
I'm
your whole depression talk, and then you were like, no, I got a joke
I'm
to say.
sorry, but it was worth it because now when I tell this joke at school, you can sit there and know at the torment. Okay, do you want to hear the apology joke? There's two of them.
Oh, there's an apology joke.
There's two of them, and they take like 5 minutes each max.
Okay, I don't believe you, but yeah, sure.
All right, here's the first one. All right, so these aliens crash on Earth, right? Okay.
Wait, what do you mean apology joke? Like apology joke for the
Apologizing for wasting your time. This joke
But
actually.
no. Why are you talking about aliens? This is gonna be another
No, it's not. It's
dragged
not.
out.
I swear it's not.
Fine.
Swear to God, it's not that long of a joke. All right. So the aliens crash on Earth. You know what happens all the time. The government just doesn't tell us about it. And they haven't gotten taken by the government yet. They're not at Area 51 yet. Well, they see this gas station and they see these weird figures with what appears to be one arm, but they can't tell. So they walk over and they pull out their blasters and they're like, "Take us to your leader." No response. Not a single response. And he cocks the blaster. "Take us to your master." Like, no response. Okay, he's at a gas station. All right, no response. He's
Wait,
like,
the monk guy?
no, the aliens, the aliens.
Oh,
Are at,
okay.
no, this is a completely separate joke.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure I could tie it in, but no. And they're like, "Take us to your leader, or we'll kill you." No response. So he shoots it, and it blows up because it's a gas tank or it's a fuel pump, and it blows up. And he's like, and he gets shot back, but they're aliens. It doesn't hurt. They're just like, "Damn, that was surprising. Why do the people of this earth have dicks in their ears?" It's not funny. It's a terrible joke. All right, the whole point of the joke is they shot a fuel pump, and they were like, "The people on this planet are weird. They keep their dicks in their ears because it's a fuel pump, and you keep the nozzle." Now I have to explain it because you don't drive. It's a bad joke. Like, they're not funny.
Yeah, it's not that funny. Yeah, did
All
I
right,
laugh?
fine. I'll tell you the other apology joke. All right. So the monk's walking down the beach.
Where?
And he's counting sand.
Where?
And appearing next to him is a Sasquatch. Is and
I'm unamused at this point.
you should be. It's not funny. But I need content. So
Okay.
so they're walking down the beach and he's counting sand. And he's just kind of talking to the Sasquatch, but Sasquatch isn't doing anything. He's Sasquatch. And then finally he looks at the Sasquatch and, "Sasquatch, you're the only one that's actually sat here and listened to me. Thank you so much." And they stop walking and the Sasquatch stops and kind of awkwardly looks like an animal looking down at him and just
Yeah, I would have just thought that the Sasquatch was someone from San Francisco, but okay.
No, he's a Sasquatch. He can't talk and just screams. And then he eats the monk. The end.
Finally, the true hero of this entire story.
The true hero. It's not because it's funny. It's the reactions you get for these jokes. Like, even though they're not funny, it's more of a joke to make me laugh than it is to make you laugh. And I apologize for anyone who sees this episode. You want to
We're gonna talk about something somber. We're gonna be talking about very important topics. Nah, a monk and a Sasquatch.
if you want to talk about somber, we can talk about the monk's funeral.
Does he die or is he alive?
I mean, I'm sure he dies at some point. I mean,
Okay, but one is clearly a more sad story because he never even goes to the monk palace, I guess.
oh, you got a good point. It's the multiverse.
It's the multiverse theory. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doctor Strange is here somewhere.
Somewhere. He is the
Somewhere.
Sasquatch.
Doctor Strange. Earth is not open today. Monk, I've come to bargain. Stop telling your joke.
I've come to bargain.
Stop counting sand. And I'll
You loser.
You loser. But see, now we can have a funny conversation about it.
That's true.
The point of this joke is to tell you there's more to life than just the straightforward path and the answers you get. You can look back on things and laugh about it. Okay,
Wow,
now
we're being all philosophical. Dang, okay.
See, I can segue. Yeah.
Are we gonna segue back into something new, or are we gonna end it here? That's my question.
We can segue into something new, and then we'll split it into 2 episodes.
Fair.
So.
Okay. Well, circling back to your whole.
Well, hold on. I gotta do something because we're gonna make it 2 episodes. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to outro because I'm not gonna edit that in because I'm dumb and don't know how to. Yeah. So. Thank you all for listening to my crappy monk joke. I only told it to honor my passed away friend. He would be proud for wasting people's time. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. I am Jay. We have been with E today from the JBG podcast. And we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Bye.
Okay, now, I'm going to do the intro.
I'm gonna go piss.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to stop this recording. How do I... How do I do that? Oh, I went back to full screen. Damn it. Alright, stop recording.